Good morning, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I wanted to talk to you from a perspective that I learned from naturopathic medicine, which is one of the principles of naturopathic medicine. It's the term docere. Docere, D-O-C-E-R-E, means doctor as teacher. And today, as a healthcare provider, I'd like to help teach you something about things that came up through my contemplation this morning. And this morning, it was all about love, truth, and discernment. Love, truth, and discernment. And of course, many people feel that they are pretty good with all of these things. They understand them and they practice them and that sort of idea. But today I'd love for you to reflect on this video and see if you really do and from which perspective. So the first quotation that I came across is by Erich Fromm. And this quotation says, "While every human being has a capacity for love, its realization is one of the most difficult achievements." So again, while every human being has a capacity for love, its realization is one of the most difficult achievements. And you think, wow, why is that possible? I mean, maybe a teenager looking to fall in love for the first time or looking for love for the first time would find it a difficult achievement. But if you've been in love or if you're in a healthy relationship, you might think, well, love is easy. Now see from your own perspective, what is it that creates love and what is love for you? Do you love a person or a thing because of what it does for you? It brings you joy, it brings you satisfaction. They do something for you and that brings you joy and satisfaction. Maybe they cook for you, maybe they clean for you, maybe they tell you beautiful words of praise. Maybe it's how they look at you, right? It's so many different things. Or maybe they pay bills and money is important to you. So see what you love. And sometimes people love a person for just the person they are. And this is a beautiful achievement because the person does not have to change. But if it's tied to because of this, because they're with me when I'm not feeling good, because they speak nicely to me, because they I don't know, take me to the places that I want to go, because we have fun on vacations, whatever it is. But as soon as there's a because, it switches from being love. So when we think about love, love is timeless and eternal. And when we think about conditions, conditions are time bound, and time bound thoughts are linked with thoughts. So when we think about, I think I'm here and I want to be there, that's time bound, right? So I'm here, but there's a space of time before I can get there. Or I want to achieve something, same thing. When we think about love, of course, I'm coming back to healthcare. And in healthcare, we might love a practitioner we see. We might love that they spend the time that we like to spend with them. Maybe we would love to have even more time with them because they just are so wonderfully attentive and really give good direction and guidance, which is great. Now, do you love that? Or do you love the prescription that comes at the end of your appointment? Because a lot of people love going to their practitioner because the practitioner either has a suggestion of do this, 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 or take this supplement or take this medication. And oftentimes when we get tied into that sort of thinking, we might not love that practitioner anymore when they refuse to prescribe me the antibiotics I know I need. So now we understand that love then is conditional, right? Which is not pure, authentic love. And this is something I'd love for you to think about today, whether it's about the workplace that you're in, whether it's about a relationship that you're in, whether it's about your role in any situation. Do you love? Are you love? Or do you love because of? And this is an important thought to think about. The next quotation I wanted to share with you is by Charles Spurgeon. And this quotation says, "Discernment is not knowing the difference between right and wrong. It is knowing the difference between right and almost right." So this is so interesting, right? So I know I love this person because they do this for me, right? That's right. But it's not pure and authentic love. So it's almost right, right? So that sort of idea. Same thing in terms of healthcare practitioners. If I look at even my own journey, I find it so interesting that, when I had a title, it was so welcome. And it was so loved by so many people. And people would reach out to me and say, I've never met a naturopathic doctor like you. And I'm so happy that you're working with me. And I'm so happy to be learning from you. And remember, this, my idea of doctor as teacher, my principle from naturopathic medicine has always been part of me. And I don't need a title to know that about myself. Yet, when people are looking at a title, when you are looking at a practitioner with a title, is it because, oh, the title makes them more intelligent, or they've got several titles behind their name, so that's more intelligent, or this is the title behind their name, that's this many years of education, or they've gone through this many years of education period, right? When we start doing the because of, we lose the authentic truth of what we might be benefiting from. And that love for someone who's actually helping you is very different than the love you have because your insurance is paying for the visit. And this is a very interesting awareness to have, and I'd love for you to have this awareness. Now, of course, I focused on healthcare, but I want you to know that this happens in everything. This happens in a company where the CEO might be loved because they hardly ever visit the office, but when they're in, they're if they speak to me, oh my God, I feel so special and so important because they said I'm doing a good job. But if my coworker says I'm doing a good job, I don't love that as much, right? So that sort of differentiation, that a particular title can give us more love or appreciation for something and really means nothing, right? Perhaps we can just understand the appreciation. And then we can come back to the truth of, do we work from that spot? Do we do things that are right or almost right? Do we do things because we love our work and we feel like this is the best I can put into my work? Or do we do things because, well, that's what the boss expects and it brings a paycheck, right? Those sorts of things have become very common in our society, that we become very complacent, relaxed, close to lazy about why we do what we do and for what purpose and out of what sort of intention. And these are things that are really important to think about, because most people can look outside of themselves and say, well, they did that right, but they've done better work when they first started and now they're not working as hard. Now I can look at another person and say that. Can I look at myself to see if I'm doing that? Right? So this is so important for us to understand, because again, this idea of love is constantly talked about these days. It's definitely a language that many people are putting into newsletters, into any sorts of direction in terms of conversation. There's a lot of I love yous, and there isn't really the understanding of love. Love just is, right? So it's a feeling, it's an expression, it's an awareness, it's an enthusiasm. It is a passion for what is in this moment from ourselves. And as soon as I only love something because I'm getting something from it, I get a really great paycheck out of this, then it's not true and authentic anymore. And I'd love for you to sit for love. I would encourage you to sit for 5 minutes after this video to think about, what do you love? And what does love mean to you, whether professionally or personally? And do you exemplify this yourself? I hope you do. And I know that we all have it within us. So I hope that you will work from that space today. And finally, I wanted to finish with a quote by Confucius. And this quotation says, "To know and not do is to not yet know. To know and not do is to not yet know." And this is so important for understanding this concept, because I can know about what I've just shared with you, and I must do, because if I don't, I haven't really understood the depth of this video. And this is what I put out to you, that if you have really understood the depth of this video, you will also understand this whole idea of love thy neighbor, all of those deep concepts that have come maybe from various philosophers, sages, religious and spiritual scriptures. And it seems so basic, right? But loving thy neighbor, is it just where you live, for your home residence? And what is that love for the neighbor? Is there a true and genuine compassion and loving space that is open from you right? Where you're actually seeing a need and helping? Or is there something of, well, if they need something, they'll be here? Same thing with work, right? I only love my boss when they come over and tell me I've done something good. Is that a true and authentic space of love? Love just is. Today, I encourage you to be love. I wish you a fabulous day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.